It's very like corporate, and like people are there to like drink tequila sodas and or be hot. The Liberty fans are like, they care, they boo officials, they're like super locked.
Sophie Cunningham isn't one to hold back. She said the WNBA game atmospheres are totally different. The boringness of a corporate cocktail party vibe versus the electric energy of New York Liberty fans.
Let's go, Liberty! Let's go, Liberty! Let's go! Since 1997, I started.
The former crowd seemed more interested in sipping tequila sodas and being seen than actually watching basketball. Meanwhile, Liberty fans earned her respect by being fully engaged. They boo the officials, live and die with each call, and create a playoff-like intensity even in regular games.
So as soon as that ball comes in, you don't want to foul a shooter.
Sophie clearly loves that authenticity. Fans who care more about the action on the court than the color of their cocktail. It's a sentiment many die-hard sports fans would echo. Nothing beats a rowdy home crowd that's super locked in, as she put it.
Cunningham from the corner for a three. She hits it, and she's...
Cunningham's critique might ruffle some feathers, but she has a point about how different WNBA arenas can feel. Some games, especially those heavy on VIPs and sponsors, do have a quieter, more sanitized atmosphere. By contrast, New York's Barclays Center has developed a reputation for passionate, knowledgeable fans who will call out a bad ref call in a heartbeat. Having that kind of crowd support can energize players and even influence momentum. From the very start, the Indiana Fever season has been one long uphill battle, a brutal wave of injuries, especially at the point guard spot, threw the entire roster into chaos.
Just happened that was so bad for our team.
Are you talking about the injuries?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
On a tough road trip to Phoenix, Sophie Cunningham said, "So much bad stuff just happened to our team," and she wasn't kidding. In one night, Ari McDonald went down with a broken foot, Sydney Colson tore her ACL, and rookie sensation Caitlin Clark remained sidelined with lingering quad and groin issues, having managed only 13 appearances all season. Losing both McDonald and Colson in the same blowout left Indiana without a single true point guard, forcing Cunningham and veteran scorer Kelsey Mitchell to suddenly split ball-handling duties.
In Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever are trading for a multi-dimensional wing, capable of knocking down the three ball.
Sophie even joked on her podcast, half in jest, half in disbelief. "I don't know if you realize, but you're looking at our new PG on the team." The Fever scrambled to bring in former All-Star Odyssey Sims as emergency help, but the reality was stark. A team that once had depth in the backcourt was suddenly running on patchwork solutions, with Cunningham herself thrust into a role she hadn't played in nearly a decade. Sophie Cunningham has been refreshingly honest and downright funny about her sudden role as a point guard.
Everyone was this legit aggressive and like on our front foot, and like whoever got the ball, they brought the ball down, you know? So it was like everyone was just going and it was flowing.
She admitted, "I haven't really needed to handle the ball in like 10 years," and confessed her left-hand confidence is still a work in progress. Instead of forcing it, her approach is simple. Get the ball across half court and let teammates do the heavy lifting. "If anyone pressures me 90 feet, I'm giving it to the bigs," she explained.
Rim and out. Cunningham picks up the board. Here she comes. Sophie steps into the three.
That's her style. Advance it, swing it, and make the easy play. She even joked about her so-called signature move. "I'm either getting a screen or pushing off. I'm either fouling or someone's helping me get open." It's candid, self-aware, and surprisingly effective. By sticking to the basics, Sophie has helped Indiana hold steady, proving her versatility and IQ. Not every player would swallow their ego and adapt like that, but she has. The Indiana Fever's first test without a true point guard came against the Chicago Sky, and surprisingly, they looked sharp. Sophie Cunningham described it best. Everyone was legit aggressive and on their front foot. Whoever grabbed the rebound or caught the outlet pass just pushed the ball up the floor. No hesitation, no overthinking.
You know, I think that's just part of being a pro athlete. You know, you can never really control the outside things. You can't control injuries, and so that's why you really do have to control your mental and control what you can control. And
that up-tempo, by-committee style worked beautifully, and the Fever rolled past Chicago, earning a much-needed boost of confidence. But reality hit hard in their very next outing. The team had just signed veteran Odyssey Sims, who hadn't played in weeks, and suddenly had to integrate her into the lineup on the fly.
I know you don't think so, but it's a blessing that we're on another team because we need you here. And so I just think it's an adjustment period.
Cunningham admitted everyone's rhythm was a little bit off. Instead of free-flowing basketball, Indiana seemed stuck trying to figure out roles mid-game. Sims, understandably rusty, played 13 minutes as she worked back into shape. The result? A heartbreaker, an 81-80 loss to the Dallas Wings that went down to the final second. And what a finish it was. The Fever came out flat, their energy lacking, and by the fourth quarter, they trailed by 17. But then came a furious 19-3 run that lit up the arena. Kelsey Mitchell led the charge, scoring tough baskets down the stretch and cutting the deficit to just 1 with 33 seconds left. After a huge defensive stop, Indiana had the ball and the chance to win it at the buzzer. With 1.7 seconds on the clock, Mitchell caught it in the corner, rose for the game-winning 3, and hit the side of the backboard. Just like that, the comeback died. Cunningham still had a strong showing, finishing with 14 points while juggling new responsibilities. Mitchell led the way with 24, and Natasha Howard added a 12-point, 12-rebound double-double, but the Wings answered with big nights from Maddie Siegrist, who tied her career high with 22, and rookie Paige Bueckers, who chipped in 16 points and 8 assists. Indiana proved they could battle shorthanded, but the sting of a 1-point loss after such a comeback was undeniable. One of the most striking parts of Sophie Cunningham's podcast was her unapologetic call-out of the officiating in Indiana's 1-point loss to Dallas, and she didn't sugarcoat it. I love Paige to death, but those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. You literally couldn't touch her. Couldn't touch her. That stuff is so annoying to me. Think about that for a second. A WNBA rookie, yes, a rookie getting the kind of whistle usually reserved for decade-long veterans. Now, Paige Bueckers isn't an ordinary rookie. She entered the league with enormous hype, a College National Player of the Year award, and the reputation of being women's basketball's next household name. But to Cunningham, it was absurd that Bueckers was already being treated like an established superstar. Indiana's guards couldn't breathe on her without a whistle. Sophie summed it up bluntly. And if you're going to do that, then give it to our guards. I just hate the inconsistency. Cunningham doubled down, making it clear this wasn't personal. She praised Paige as a future legend, calling her a Hall of Famer in the making, but she still felt the officiating was over the top. She's going to be one of the GOATs, but to get the treatment she got last night was crazy. In Sophie's eyes, respect from referees is something you earn, not something handed to you before your rookie season is even halfway finished. And Sophie wasn't the only one upset. Fever head coach Stephanie White echoed her frustrations, calling out what she described as a double standard. White argued that Kelsey Mitchell, a proven scorer, gets held and bumped on every possession with no call, while Aaliyah Boston, the All-Star center and last year's Rookie of the Year, is the worst officiated post player in the league. So, when Paige got touch fouls late in a tight game, it wasn't just Cunningham bristling. The entire Fever camp felt slighted. But here's the thing, does Sophie have a point? In that Dallas game, Paige went just 6 for 1-9 from the floor, a sign that Indiana defended her well. Yet she still lived at the free throw line whenever contact came. Meanwhile, Mitchell, a 7-year veteran, absorbed far more contact and got almost nothing. Historically, superstar whistles arrive after years of proving dominance. Tom Brady didn't start getting borderline NFL calls until a decade in, and Patrick Mahomes didn't get them until after a Super Bowl. The idea that a 1-year-old rookie was already there? Sophie wasn't buying it. Still, Bueckers isn't just any 1-year-old. Through mid-August, she's been electric, averaging 18.6 points, 5.4 assists, 4.1 boards, nearly 2 steals a game. She's scored in double figures every single night. She's already Rookie of the Month twice, and some analysts have floated her in the MVP conversation despite Dallas's struggles. That's not hype, that's production. So, are refs giving her the benefit of the doubt because she's already the face of the future? Probably. And from a league perspective, it makes sense. Paige is marketable and magnetic, and her presence boosts attendance and television ratings. But for players like Cunningham and Mitchell, what they want is simple: consistency. Call it both ways. Don't let the star aura dictate the whistle. What this all means is that Indiana versus Dallas now has a little extra fire. Sophie's words sparked debate across the league, and Paige herself brushed it off with confidence, letting her game do the talking. But next time these two teams meet, you can bet all eyes won't just be on the players, they'll be on the refs too. Shifting gears, Sophie Cunningham lit up when talking about one of the brightest headlines in the league, A'ja Wilson's monster performance. With genuine excitement, she asked her co-host, "Did you see A'ja Wilson's little stat line? She's the first WNBA player to record a 30-20. Dude, she's so good." And Sophie wasn't exaggerating. On the 10th of August, 2025, Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces made history, becoming the first player in WNBA history to record at least 30 points and 20 rebounds in a single game. Against the Connecticut Sun, the reigning MVP dominated with 32 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 assists, a feat not even legends like Lisa Leslie, Lauren Jackson, or Candace Parker ever accomplished. Even Wilson herself admitted she was surprised, saying, "As many greats as we have in this league, it's kind of a shocker that it's just now happening. That's how rare the milestone truly is." It also marked her 14th double-double of the season and tied her with Tina Charles for the most career games, with 30-plus points and 15-plus rebounds. Cunningham and her co-host couldn't stop gushing. Sophie admired that A'ja isn't just a force on the court, but a presence off it as well. Off the court, she's doing so many really cool things, she said, praising Wilson's personality and influence beyond basketball. From writing a book, to engaging with fans, to being a true ambassador for the sport, Wilson has shown she knows how to navigate fame while staying authentic. Her co-host even recalled interviewing A'ja, describing her as down-to-earth, funny, and an absolute professional. From a broader perspective, Wilson's historic night underscored just how high the talent ceiling in the WNBA is right now. On one end, you have A'ja Wilson, a reigning MVP in her prime, putting up video game numbers. On the other, rising stars like Paige Bueckers are pushing the next generation forward. It's a golden era for the league, and Cunningham's awe reflected what so many fans feel: deep respect for a player who is already on a Hall of Fame trajectory. As her coach Becky Hammon put it best, it's just A'ja being A'ja, and that might be the scariest part. This could just be the beginning. Sophie Cunningham lightened the mood with a brand new segment idea she's calling Fine or Fine, a playful wink at her own habit of racking up league fines. With a smirk, she joked, "One of your co-hosts gets fined all the time. That's why we came up with this. The premise is simple. Toss out different scenarios and decide whether they're truly fine or worthy of a fine." It's witty, it's interactive, and it cleverly leans into Sophie's reputation as a straight shooter who doesn't mind crossing the line. And let's be honest, the timing couldn't be more perfect. She was recently fined for blasting officials in a previous episode, and here she was again, unapologetically pushing that same envelope. Instead of shying away from the controversy, Sophie is embracing it, turning her outspoken nature into part of the show's personality and giving fans exactly what they expect from her: honesty, edge, and entertainment. This tells you a lot about Cunningham. She's authentic, competitive, and not afraid to speak her mind, even if it hits her wallet. In an era where many athletes use polished PR speak, Sophie's unfiltered commentary is refreshing. She's voicing what fans in the arena might be yelling. That outspokenness endears her to some and makes her a villain to others. Love her or hate her, she makes it interesting.